Hello YouTube and welcome to Chaos Dragon 73. A very powerful deck profile for you today. It's a very strong deck. So let's get on to the deck profile. It's Inzektors and I run 3 Dragonfly. This starts your main loop. When this card is usually your first turn normal summon, that'll allow you to go into so much based on what you have also in your hand. If you don't know any of the cards, just look them up. Next is 3 Centipede. This card is usually what you summon after Dragonfly, and he's really good. Then you run 3 Hornets. He's basically the card, if you have first turn with any other Inzektor really, you're just going to start destroying your opponent, especially if the other Inzektor is Dragonfly. Next up, I run 2 Hopper. A lot of people don't. I like him at 2. And he makes your rank 4s without using Ladybug. And he's just all-around great card. I don't know what more to say about him. Then you got Gigamantis. He's good at 1. Went and changed that. 2 Ladybugs. I was running the 1, now I'm running 2 because this is basically, if you don't have Hornet and you draw this instead, it's just as bad for your opponent. Long story short, he makes your 4s, 5s, and 6s ranks depending on what you have. And everybody's probably thinking 6. Well, you gotta remember, Hopper's at 4. And when he's equipped, that's a 6. Or you can equip the Hopper, and when you detach it, you can choose 1 to increase it by. So, yeah, it says up to 2. So, remember that, up to 2. That's the Inzektor monsters. Now, from just some tech choices, Gores. I love Gores. If I can run it in all my decks, I would. 2 Card Troopers. There's some fun plays with him. He's basically to get your Hornet or Ladybug into the grave, and when he's destroyed, you draw a card, which is nice. Then you got the 3 Infectivator because priority's gone, so no more effects for them, ruin ideas for them, and this really stops their plays. That's it for the monsters. Next up is probably my least favorite spell in the deck. My next deck profile, I'm probably going to take it out if someone doesn't, I was going to say if someone doesn't give me a cool idea with it. I know the combo with it, I just don't like it. Like, when I draw this card, it doesn't help. I just can't stand this card. I had 3. Oh my god, was I losing with 3. I cut it down to 2. I started winning a lot more on, like, mirror matches and just the other big decks. And this was before priority, so when I was at 3 and I knocked it down to 2, I started doing a lot better. So it just tells you how much momentum I gained with it. I just couldn't stand this card. I mean, it seemed like I went off and then drew this card next turn, so it's pointless to have it. Or I needed an Inzektor body just so I can use Hornet's effect to pop something off the field just so I can attack for game, and I drew into this and I was just like, what the hell's, So yeah, I don't like the card at all. Next up is Lore. Foolish. Foolish is probably my favorite spell in the deck. I mean, it helps get your Hornet or Ladybug in the graveyard depending on what you need. I've actually drew no monsters one time, had this, and Monster Reborn, and Foolish my Gores into the grave just to reborn it so I can attack with 2700. Just, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. 2 MSTs. I had 3. I knocked it down to 2 to add the extra Ladybug, but I might take out one of the swords to make it back to 3 because I just don't see the swords coming in handy anymore. So I'm just going to probably bump this up to 3, take out a sword, keep it out 1, and that'd be fine for me. Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and Book of Moon to wrap up for the spells. Next up, because of Billy Break and opening everybody's eyes to this card, it's 3 Safe Zone. These were originally my friend Pitzer's. He loaned them to me for a locals tournament. I took 4th, only lost to 1 duelist. It was Evils. I just drew absolutely horrible, and he just drew really good. And that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes you get bad hands and you just have to play through it. He's my only loss, and got knocked down to 4th because of it. So yeah, well, I got 4th. I got a little bit of store credit, like $15, and he said, yeah, you want those 3 safe zones? I was like, yeah. He's like, you need a store credit, and I'll give them to you. So yep, thanks, Bits. Next up is 3 Call the Hunted. This card's amazing with Card Trooper. Milling, say, a good target into the grave, and you calling the hunted that target. Or, Card Trooper's in your grave, they MST this. You flip it over, you bring back Card Trooper, then Card Trooper dies and you draw a card. So you never lose card advantage, but they do. So, yeah. One time in the tournament, just so I could win, I called the Haunted a Hornet. They equipped another Hornet because that's the only 2 Inzektors in my grave. Use Hornet's effect to pop their monster so my Gores can finish him off. And it was just funny. I thought it was pretty smart. He didn't, of course. But if you have to use Hornet to bring back Hornet just to pop a card so you can get that last tack for game, go for it, right? Next up, I have 2 Compulses. This gets rid of a lot of things. I love this card. It's great for when, you know, they exceed with something that can't die by an effect or by battle. You can just compulse it. That just makes it so much easier. Or they go out of their way, some of this ridiculous monster, and you're just like, bye. Torrential and Solemn Judgment. I'm not going to give you guys an extra deck today because the camera's dying. So I'm sorry about that. So I'm gonna just probably do one later, or I'll just, you know, post it in down below. And I'm sorry, guys. Really wish I had more time to do this, but I don't. So rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my video. Check out my channel for more cool videos. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied. Well, thank you, YouTube. Peace.